From the C.H. Moore Homestead in Clinton, wrapping up the 2025 edition of the 57th Annual Apple and Pork Festival. Seth Lawrence here with Joey Long. And boy, Joey, I tell you what, the weekend went by in a hurry this year, and I haven't got a chance really to catch up with you at all. How have you been?
Well, it's been a really good weekend, and yeah, I agree with you. I feel like we prepared for this for so long, and then the weekend comes and it's gone almost in a blink of an eye. I think also the reason that feels it's gone so fast is, would you agree that at least on Saturday there was a completely different energy out here?
I think so. Yeah, I do too. What did you think about that?
Well, it just felt like the numbers were so big, and people were so happy to be out and doing this, you know.
In spite of the heat.
Yeah, and it just like, I don't know, it's just a fantastic energy or vibe, if you will.
It was a very pleasant vibe, I felt like.
It was. And everyone who I interacted, just, you know, so polite, so pleasant, you know, expressing their appreciation that, you know, the museum puts this on, and, you know, being happy that they're out here spending the day. So today I would say was a little slower, but just as good. But yeah, somehow yesterday just felt a little special.
Yeah, it did. And I think the earlier crowd maybe had something to do with it. But yeah, there was just, I agree. There was just something different about the way that folks came out yesterday. But with that said, Joey, I know you've been inside the homestead for most of the weekend. How has that experience been for you? You know, how was the crowds? How was their energy? How about some of those things?
It was wonderful. So each year I have to find willing docents to volunteer to help me welcome 1,000 people to the house. And yesterday my team was fantastic. Had some new blood in and some old, you know, experienced people, same as today. So great people helping out on that end. And then as far as the people coming through, yesterday there was not a lull. It was just constant people coming through, asking good questions, spending a decent amount of time in the house. You know, you could tell they were truly enjoying. They weren't just coming in to take advantage of our air conditioning in our Victorian mansion.
Sure.
They were truly interested in the, you know, seeing the house and learning about the heritage and everything we had to share with them. So yeah, it was really good.
Good to hear. You know, and one thing I'm noticing, particularly as I make my way down, like to your booths here along the north end of the grounds with the apple cider and the cider floats and all of those things, is you have more and more young people getting involved down there year after year. And I know talking to you 5-6 years ago, that was something you were really pushing and really wanting to dial in on. How about that effort and just getting young people in?
Yeah, it really has, and I'm noticing this more and more, and we've talked about this before. All weekend with my time inside the house has been, you know, proven again. I've even stopped some mothers and said, you know, I was asked the boy, how old are you? Oh, I'm 10. Do you like history? I do. All right. So I guess a 10-year-old could fib to me and say they like history, but then the next thing that will come out of the child's mouth, you know, proves to you, oh my goodness, this kid really knows his history. You can tell this kid's reading up, and, you know, and the reason that they're in the house touring is because it is the child who is interested in the history, and it's the parent nurturing that child's interests.
Sure.
And so that's really neat to see on the side of, you know, who's coming to visit and tour the house. But yeah, I'm noticing it in the food stands too. That we have the younger kids volunteering. They just kind of seem to have that can-do attitude. I'm presuming they're learning that from their parents, who are, you know, handing that tradition of volunteering for the sake of the museum, you know, down, you know, through the generations. So
sometimes it just takes a while to come back around, right?
I think that's right. It takes a while for that to come back around, and then it also takes that one generation behind to welcome those youngsters in, to take them under their wing, to show them how you build a rail fence, or how you cook a pot of beans, or how you conduct a tour. And that's how we're going to keep going.
Well, we're at 57. Who's to say we can't get to 104, right?
No problem.
Yeah, for sure. Joey, as we chat here for this morning, or this afternoon, I guess I should say, in terms of just issues that you encountered, it really felt like minimal things. Like very, if there were any issues, it was the heat related stuff. Did you find that to be the case as you walked around post show and all those things?
I'm going to answer this honestly. Seth, if you came away with that impression, then I'm doing a great job. Because I'm going to be honest, this weekend has been blood. It has been fire. There have been a lot of things that have happened this weekend.
Wow.
But it seems like you always have the right people in the right place. So, in the case where there was a fairly serious accident, we had a retired EMT. I had the first aid kit and he had the knowledge. And then we were able to get the right people in place to take care of some other technical problems and whatnot. So yeah, it did all come together. I'm glad to know, that it looks like there were no problems, but in fact there were a few glitches, but again, always fortunate enough to have the right people there on site to take care of that, or to have people willing to come in and help us take care of those issues.
I'll say for our family, we had a first out here this year.
What was that?
My youngest got stung by a bee for the first time, so that was quite the quite the dramatic experience. But it is no fault of your own. I heard there was quite a bit of that.
I heard that there was quite a bit of that too.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid out here, they would make their own apple butter in the kettles and whatnot. Oh my goodness, that would summons in every bee in the state, and a lot of bee stings back then. And it seems like that seemed to happen. You'd see it more maybe like 10 years ago, and then it kind of waned off. But yeah, I definitely would recommend, that little Benadryl pen that you can put in your purse or in your pocket. Instant relief for a bee sting. So yeah, maybe bring that next year.
Yeah. Very good. Well, Joey, as we wrap up for 2025, when do you start turning your attention to 2026? And, I know we say it every year, but come probably 7 or 8 o'clock, you're going to be hard fasted to believe that there was a festival here that drew in, I don't even know what the number will end up being, but that drew in tens of thousands. How about what you do to get ready for the next year?
Well, as far as getting ready for the next year, I will say I already have a list going. I started it yesterday morning. Just little things I see here and there that I think that we could maybe improve upon or build upon, or suggestions that are brought to us by just the people visiting. So that has already started, and as you know, that's going to go all year through.
Yep.
And then as far as how this place builds up and then takes down so quickly, I'm always amazed about it. And I'm always amazed at how in the world does our grass survive this, Seth?
I know.
Tomorrow, when we take a look at the grounds out here, almost all the tents and everything will be gone, especially in the flea market area, but up here in the grounds too. And all that's left is just, you can see the markings where the aisles were, because all the grass is smashed, and that's the evidence that there was, an enormous crowd here. But I'll never forget, a few years ago, it was that first big festival we had after
COVID.
Yeah, after COVID. So we had record numbers that year. Oh my gosh, the place was crazy. And then on the Monday after that festival, I came here. The museum's closed that day. I was the only person here that early in the morning. And they had ground some meal down in the meal grinding tent. And they must have had extra, and they dumped it out onto the grass. And I get here, and it's all still and calm and quiet. And when I walked up onto the porch, what I could see down there on the hill was 3 deer enjoying that corn.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, you would never have thought that there would have been so many thousands of people here yesterday, and now here those deer down there in the peace enjoying that leftover corn.
All that smell you would have thought would have driven them away. Very good. Well, Joey, again, congratulations to you for all the work you put into this. I know this is a lot of work on your end of things, and you take a big sigh of relief once it's over, and then it's on to the next. So well done to you and everybody at the hospital the museum foundation and the museum board that puts this on. Great job once again, and we'll catch you next year.
I want to thank everyone, including you, but everyone who pitched in to make this work. Thank you, everyone, so much.
That's Joey Long with the DeWitt County Museum, C.H. Moore Homestead, as we wrap up Apple and Pork 2025.